I consider myself an avid reader when I have the time to be. My family knows this and selects books to give as gifts for birthdays and Christmases, creating a knee-high to-read pile near my already crowded bookshelf every December. It usually only takes me the next few months to tear through the pile and find places to squeeze my new best friends. I refuse to discard or sell my literature. How else will I start the library I hope to one day own? Last summer, as I unpacked and repacked my insufficient bookshelf, hoping for an extra space if only I could rearrange things, I found a gift from my father that had been forgotten since Christmas. A hardcover copy of the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Marianne Schaffer and Annie Barrows. Tough title, I thought to myself as I flipped to the inner flap. Set in England in 1946, the book is about the correspondence between single 30-something writer Juliet Ashton and the members of a literary society formed on the island of Guernsey during its occupation by the Germans in World War II. Used as an ad-lib excuse for missing curfew one night, the Guernsey Literary Society soon became its members' escape from the harsh reality of the occupation. In a letter to Juliet Ashton, Eben Ramsey writes, "Everyone was sickly from little nourishment and bleak from wondering if it would ever end. We clung to books and to our friends. They reminded us that we had another part to us." As Ashton continues to correspond from her apartment in London, the idea for a new book comes to fruition. She decides that she must visit the island and the society members whom she comes to consider dear friends. In this new setting, Juliet Ashton finds inspiration for her writing and relationships she never knew she couldn't live without. Though it is at times dark, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society is a story of the power of love. Romantic love, love between friends, and love of literature. After reading the first few letters to and from Ashton, I fell in love. Here was a character I could identify with, headstrong and witty, struggling during a time period which I find myself drawn to. I immediately called my girlfriends and recommended a swift trip to Barnes & Noble and thanked my dad for the late Christmas find. Not often is it that I find a book which I have to ration like my Easter candy, making the sweet indulgence last as long as possible. Juliet Ashton is me in 1946, and I couldn't wait to read more about us. As one of the characters writes about his favorite author, I came to feel that he was talking to me, in his funny, biting way, but talking to me alone. Having just defended my overflowing bookshelf to my boyfriend, I delighted to find out that Ashton broke off her engagement after coming home to find that her fiancé had taken the liberty of cleaning out her bookshelves. As a person who cherishes books above all other possessions, I was proud of Ashton for demanding that hers keep their rightful place as well. As the members of the society began to tell of their life-saving connections to literature, I didn't feel so bad for retreating to my books during hard times. I've often wondered if my reading is an unhealthy escape route, and maybe it is, but I prefer to think of it as self-preservation. If a group of fictional characters can use Anne Bronte, Charles Lamb, and the Greek philosopher Seneca to get them through a war, I can certainly use them to get me through a bad week. In a letter to a friend, Ashton speculates, perhaps there is some sort of secret homing instinct in books that brings them to their perfect readers. How delightful if that were true.